Hello everyone, and welcome to our SheTalks event 2022. Today's topic will be societal pressures women face. We are going to start this event off with a land acknowledgement to respectfully recognize the lands and people of the Mississaugas of Scugog Island First Nation, where our university is situated. It is the traditional territory of the Mississaugas, a branch of the Greater Anishinaabe Nation, including Algonquin, Ojibwe, Odawa, and Potawatomi. Many of us are settlers, migrants, or descendants of those forcibly brought to this land, and we are here because this land is colonized. We use the land acknowledgement to respectfully recognize and acknowledge this land is and will continue to be home to the Indigenous people, and it is important to move forward towards reconciliation together with kindness and respect. I encourage you all to take a moment after today's events to look up the history behind the lands you are situated on. Our speakers today are myself, Ria George, Ariba Khan, and Janvi Vagela, and we are all members of the SheLeads High School Ambassador program. Today's topic will be body shaming, female education, and relationships. Before I introduce my topic, I would like to start off with a quote by Ashley Graham, who is a model and body positivity activist, which I think will be a good segue into what I will be discussing with you all today. There is not one standard of beauty or one perfect size. With that being said, my name is Ria, and I will be talking about body shaming and the societal pressures regarding the way we look. So what is body shaming, you may ask? Well, according to the Oxford Dictionary, body shaming is the action or practice of humiliating someone or making mocking or critical comments about their body shape or size. Now, I think we can all agree when I say that anyone can be affected by body shaming. We see all over social media celebrities and influencers encouraging behaviors which can be damaging to the people viewing them. These things can cause an unrealistic expectation of yourself and what you should look as per society's standards. Body shaming can manifest in many different forms. According to ANAD, a nonprofit organization specializing in peer support for people with eating disorders, criticizing your own appearance through a judgment or comparison to another person, criticizing another's appearance in front of them, and criticizing another's appearance without their knowledge are all forms of body shaming. No matter how you viewed them, it could lead to shame, dissatisfaction, and comparisons with your body. In fact, a study has shown that 94% of teen girls, 64% of teen boys, and kids as young as 6 years old have body image issues. The negative effects of body shaming can be long-lasting. It could cause severe mental and emotional distress, eating disorders, low self-esteem, depression, and other very serious mental health disorders. Some ways we can tackle body shaming and begin to love ourselves are: 1. To say positive affirmations to yourself in the mirror, such as, "My body is a home and I will take care of it," or "I love and honor my body." Another way is we can be taking control over social media more. Blocking out negative comments, messages, and posts can be really beneficial to us and our mental health. Lastly, understand that you only have one body on this earth and that it is important to nourish, honor, and appreciate all that your body does for you. I would like to end off my discussion with a quote by Lady Gaga that really inspires me when I start to feel down about the way I look. "You define beauty itself. Society doesn't define your beauty." And now I would like to pass it along to Reba.
But if you educate a woman, you educate a nation, by Dr. James Emmanuel. We all know what this quote means, but do we truly know the importance of it? Hello everyone, I'm Ariba, a 17-year-old high school student who is here to discuss an issue that I find very concerning even in today's time, the importance of female education. Before I get into that, I'd like to discuss why education itself is important. And I'm not here to state something cliche, but rather give an example. If you look around yourself and notice, we have been on this earth for thousands of years, and so have other species lived along with us. Yet there is a very big difference that sets us apart from everyone. Over the span of thousands of years, we haven't really seen any development in any of the species. The cow that ate grass millions of years ago still eats the grass. The fish that swam in the ocean thousands of years ago still swims. But the human, which moved from place to place in search of food, now has food in his kitchen where it is stored. What I'm trying to explain here is that the development of the human brain compared to other species. The only main difference that I notice when I compare ourselves to other species is the power of the brain. It is the knowledge that we have which has allowed us to develop like no other species. To underestimate this power is to merely not understand it. Now that I've established that knowledge isn't something small that we have, but rather the most precious possession of ours, I'd like to shift my focus towards the topic of today, which is why female education is important. As I've discussed earlier, the human brain is something absolutely amazing. To deprive a human of this right is nothing but great injustice. And this is exactly why restrictions to female education are totally unacceptable. And if and you might wonder why a lot of people in this world are against female education, and I can name a few, all thanks to the culture that I come from. Female education is seen as something that wastes money because people think that, well, most of the women do not work, and to spend money on something like education on a female would waste their precious money. People have been valuing money over education. There are people literally there who are unjust to their daughters and send their sons to school because it will help them in future when their sons start earning. Another reason why people restrict female education is because value it they don't value it the way it is supposed to be valued, and this goes on from generation to generation until there comes a group of people who stand up to bring about a change. It's because of these mentalities that a lot of girls and women bury their ambitions because of the society. But the truth is that we have to listen to what we feel is correct. Society will always have some problem or the other with what especially women choose for themselves. I've heard from some women in my culture say in a mocking way, "How much do you want to study? This is enough." Which is pathetic because women are putting other women down, which is totally the opposite of what we should be doing. Another thing that I want to mention is that the toxicity of the culture which stops women from reaching their full potential and not the religion. A lot of time people mix culture and religion, which is probably the way they were approached with. But I personally believe that it's the culture which brings the toxicity upon women. Another justification people bring when the topic of higher education of women is addressed is the topic of marriage. I won't be speaking much on that since that's more of a topic for the next speaker. But again, people think it's okay to stop a human from reaching their full potential because it doesn't fit into the mold culture wants women to be molded into. The truth is, it's okay if the mold that the culture wants to sculpt you into doesn't fit you. You have the potential to do something much better than what someone else has decided for you. And lastly, I would like to say that never let someone else snatch you of your right of education. Thank you.
Relationships are important for a person. So important that some women have been pressured to have a relationship, lose their virginity, get married, and have children. This pressure starts at a young age and follows you till you pass away. It is especially stronger in your 20s and 30s. I am a mere 15-year-old high school student, so I am not the most qualified person to talk about the pressure of getting married. So therefore, I have found true, real stories of women's experience with this kind of pressure. Let's talk about Ashley. Ashley is 27 years old and was born in North Dakota. She later moved to Arizona after graduating college. Let's hear her story. I was born and raised in North Dakota and moved to Arizona a month after college graduation for my career. I focused on it, but I'm still looking for a guy in the meantime. Every time I go back home, the residents from my hometown ask why I'm not married yet. I explain to them why, and it's like the biggest disappointment to them. Literally, almost everyone from my graduating class is married and has at least one kid. I want to go to my 10-year reunion next year, but I don't want to be judged just because I don't have a man. I am a strong believer that it'll happen when it's supposed to happen, but I'm also way too focused on it with all these dating apps on my phone. This pressure is not their fault. Ashley is not the only one who pressure to get married to please her family. Some relatives or friends believe that women over 27 who are not married are leftover women. Natasha Sharma, a Toronto-based relationship therapist, says many cultures sees marriage as the cornerstone to family life and raising children, and cultures that place a high value on family and having children are bound to place more pressures on those around them to get married. Due to these pressures, Young people get married for the wrong reasons, and this usually does not end well. Let's hear another story. Megan felt the pressure of having relationships, and when finally having one, she feels left behind and in need to catch up. I went to a Catholic university where most of my friends met their future spouses in college, and have been getting married and starting to have children rapidly since graduation. Being single for that whole time just made me feel like I was left behind and there was something wrong with me. Now that I'm at the start of a new relationship, I'm worried that I'm moving too fast to catch up. Megan feels this need to fast track her relationship so she won't feel pressured to have she won't feel pressured and have the happy ending every woman dreams of. Thanks to pop culture, people have set high expectations for relationships. It can be overwhelming when your relationship does not go according to plan, especially since you felt pressure to have a relationship in the first place. Women feel the societal pressures of relationships. This pressure causes one to make wrong decisions that could affect their whole life. Let me tell you my personal experience of experiencing this kind of pressure. I am a high school student. The pressure of having a relationship or losing my virginity is there and strong. It is not a physical pressure, like no one's whispering in my ear telling me to get a relationship. The pressure comes from society and what I've seen. Like in most shows or movies, a perfect relationship is easy to have and bound to happen. Well, you all know that is not true. These shows or movies, perfect relationships, pressure me to get a relationship when I'm perfectly content without one. They give me the expectation of having classmates that are my age, but they look like they're 27, and a love interest that looks like the hottest man alive. I was truly shocked when I found out that boys in high school are not like the Disney Channel movies I watched while growing up. Oh well. To sum it up, I have felt the pressure of getting a relationship, and this pressure was due to society and pop culture. I am not the only one. There are tons of people out there that would agree with this pressure. Now we will have a discussion. You may ask questions or share your experiences or thoughts of the three topics presented today. Thank you all for attending. Check out our next upcoming SheTalks event, the hypersexualization of women, on the 17th of May. The link for registration is in our social medias, which are listed below. As well, please do look forward to more SheLeads events coming soon. Thank you.